request from her. Request her to meet with us and kind of just give us.
She's been looking for bottom line, kind of trying to do that, but instead of training and keep us all connected. Sitting right here.
Just stop this cop watch breakout.
Probably need to sit down and spend more time, maybe by telephone, to shape that up. Because just saying now, we're going to set a date for training. I don't even know if we can have everybody on the same page. To say there's a call, it has a follow-up.
Just someone to maybe a team of people to bottom line figuring out a next step for this group.
Want to decide later about the kind of outreach that we'll do to connect our
That's what they want to do, is have everybody register. So there's a connectivity.
So then should outreach
There's a whole section of this .com website that's devoted to supporting the study groups, letting them keep track of each other, and connect with each other. So that hasn't been activated because we haven't gotten to this stage yet.
Could we set up a place where, online, what's name, just for the study groups?
If you want to do that. Let's you and I talk about this without not spending everybody's time.
And what's the models that are often used with organizations like the Malcolm X Grassroots Movement as well as People's Justice. What we were able to get out of that conversation is that cop watch is a term that's used amongst social justice groups.
Please be quiet, man.
Thank you. But it takes various different forms. Specifically, when you talk to people like Jose and other organizations, cop watch can look different in different situations in different communities based on the context, the need, etc. And so what we agreed on based on that sort of back and forth is it's important that we form some sort of collective of individuals that not only are actively engaged in cop watch activities, but also are interested in producing cop watch programs within their communities to see what are the strengths, opportunities, and challenges that we can learn from each other, and how can we create cop watch programs that are sustainable, effective, and strategic in communities throughout the city. And so what we decided to do is put together a very small working group, about 5 of us, including King, Nalitha, Linda, myself, and Yoni, to figure out how can we do almost a citywide training, citywide cop watch training, as well as Know Your Rights training. The vision would be that we would have a day of action, a day of cop watch throughout the city that would be launched via a press conference that communicates a message both to the NYPD but to the public at large that we're policing the police. Okay.
Thank you.
We talking about starting with the
Study group breakout.
Study guide and the promotion of study groups. We recognize that people are at very different levels, that there's a lot to come to terms with, that finding out about the depth of the problem, extent of it is a compelling thing, but that it's not easy to communicate it in sound bites. The groups decided to stay connected and to follow through with developing not only our own connections to groups that we're part of, to beginning to start the process of spreading the word, but also to provide support for one another and to work on ways that we can strengthen each other's advocacy and messaging and evangelism, but also to think of new ways to approach new populations that need to be talked to. People who are at ground zero, as one person put it, who are into the whole punitive and punishment mode, as well as people who are active socialists and who think we need to abolish all prisons and get rid of capitalism. There's quite a range of folks out there. We need to talk to them all. And we'll stay together. We're following up to stay together. And our hope is that other folks in other groups will do that as well.
Thanks.
Group so we can all organize, email each other, designate responsibility, identify a school base where we're going to start and organize with other schools so they can organize what we're doing in Lehman so other schools can do it. How much money does it take to have medical attendants in school? How many counselors compared to police and janitors to police? You know, how the school is sanitary, it's not that great. Create student body, common issues. Yeah, that's the course of action.
So we've targeted your school, right? As our pilot project.
Wow.
All right, yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Seriously, we identified like 5 folks that are going to kind of bottom line and coordinate what we're doing. Did the other 2 working groups identify like point people and bottom liners?
The policing group did.
And what about the study group?
We're all in it.
Okay.
We're all in it. We're all
Okay,
staying together.
and
We
there's
didn't pick several people to be represented, so everybody's committed to staying together.
Okay, well, so I'm saying this not just for kind of logistical purposes, but there's a bigger sort of reason, which is that I'm one of the folks that's part of the kind of coordinating group for the campaign to end the new Jim Crow. We call it the working group, but basically what we want to do is sort of extend kind of an open invitation or what have you to the people in particular who are trying to, bottom line these working groups and these efforts, but also for people who are interested in being part of this, because I think, I just want to go back and just to wrap up on this, the point that Jazz laid out, which is that this is a dot connecting kind of project, right? I mean, what we're trying to do is actually, as we're sort of digging into these particular initiatives and campaigns and struggles, and I think we've covered a lot of ground here today, we also want to be keeping our sights on a larger struggle against mass incarceration, something that's actually going to really think systematically about how do we uproot this and not just go from individual campaign and individual campaign. So I feel like today was really good about trying to put those 2 pieces together, right, and sort of see how they're connected. So, I mean, again, the coordinating group, the working group, we really want to have not just sort of, we want to be working with you guys all the time and be part of that kind of larger conversation about what that's about. So if people are interested in being part of those discussions, come and see me or Lewis, maybe Jazz too, and we can do that. So I guess we're gonna bring on that note in terms of I think the stakes are quite high. I feel like this was very useful and energizing. I'm really glad people came out. I want to just do one more quick thank you to Reverend Ailes and to our brothers and sisters at the Convent Avenue Baptist Church Prison Ministry and everyone here at the church. And again, there's a lot of folks here that are involved in some really important campaigns that people announced earlier, so make sure you connect with them. So we'll see you all on the front lines and at the next meeting.